Hello and welcome to JK, It's Not About You. I'm Jen Rouse.
And I'm Kelly Mirko, and we're your hosts. We're new empty nesters, and we're here to talk about what the next chapter looks like.
For so long, we were taxi drivers,
Domestic engineers, chefs,
tutors, cheerleaders,
and everything else that goes along with being a parent.
no days off, no paid vacation, and very limited time to pursue our own passions. It just wasn't about us.
It really wasn't. Join us on this new endeavor as we find passions in all things empty nesting. The little birdies have flown the coop and they're living their best lives. And now it's our turn. We're sweating through our 50s, trying to figure it all out.
From resetting on marriage, navigating divorce, dating at 50, we're here to reclaim our calendars, our bodies, and our newly found identities in this confusing yet exciting new phase of life.
So grab your glass of wine or beverage of choice, your cozy sweats, and join us as we unpack all things real in our 50s.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome
JK,
back.
It's Not About You. I like your
It's not-
brooch.
Oh, thank you.
Kelly's bringing back the brooch.
I am bringing the brooch.
Tell us
back.
why.
Well, my grandmother wore brooches always. She recently, I keep saying recently, but it's been a few months now, passed
feels-
away.
it feels
I know.
recent.
I just think
Yeah.
about her every day.
Yeah.
And I inherited a bunch of brooches, and I've
really
always loved them
cool.
and always looked at them. And so Melissa and I are bringing the brooch back.
Is Melissa doing it too?
She's doing it too. I know. So this one
I
is
really like that.
a little
That's so pretty.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it.
Thank
Every
you.
time
I'm
so
trying,
we have
I'm
to.
trying.
Maybe that's our new thing.
Yeah,
You know,
we're quincing it.
we're
and
quincing
and we're
it, bringing the
broaching
brooch
it.
and the perfect white tea.
In the perfect white tea. We love
which
all
I love.
that. I know.
I love perfect white teas.
Yeah, you got me on the
Yeah.
perfect white tea.
Yeah.
It's kind of an addiction.
The staple in the wardrobe. I have 100 of them now. I need to.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I know. I need to hold them up to the light and see if any of the armpits are yellow. It's
Yeah.
like kind of yoga.
I know. And then I'm like, oh, I'll keep it to sleep in.
I know. I
But
need
then
like
they
a
get
pile.
integrated back into the pile.
I know. I need 2 boxes.
Empty nesting.
And this is what we do. This
Right?
is what we have to focus on. We don't have to find bread for Elias anymore. We have to worry about what t-shirts we're going to
I
wear.
know. Chocolate milk run. Sad.
Jimmy John. I know. Those days are gone.
I know.
Well, what are
So
we going to
sad.
talk about today,
Well,
Jennifer?
What's been on my mind, and I think like a lot of people our age, is our aging, not only just our aging addiction. I think when we did the 75 hard, not drinking, it's so prevalent in my family. And my brother did a beautiful job recovering and has been great. And you
Yes.
have friends, Natalie. Shout out to Natalie.
Hi, Nat.
Who's a good fan. Who's sober.
Yeah.
Who just chose to be sober.
Yep.
I mean,
And I think that's like a movement almost. I think it's fair to
we
say
talked
right
about
now.
we would like some thoughts on that.
Yeah,
actually.
we would actually.
Would
Because-
you go to a mocktail bar?
Yes, and what would you like at a mocktail bar?
I know.
I think that a mocktail bar should be something that's open to everyone from call it noon to 9.
And
then from 9 on, it's just adults, so it feels like more of a bar atmosphere. They did that at a few bars in Sun Valley when we lived there. Anyone could go in during the day, and then it turned over at night. And then all that is offered, it's not here's a bar and there's 2 mocktails for you to choose from tonight. It's only mocktails. And
what did Natalie say? She gave some good advice. She's like, you need activities.
you need stuff to do.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot of great ideas that could be put into place in a mocktail. So, I mean, there's so many fun, just bars that we love, things that we enjoy doing there. It's the same thing. We just have to integrate the mocktail side of things.
I mean, there was a real benefit, I will tell you, from not drinking.
Huh.
I mean, feeling very clear, sleeping very well,
Remembering a lot more.
not having rageful outbursts, which I tend to do, and not being, my brother and I were talking about it. He's like, you just don't have any regrets of any stupidity that
Right.
you had,
Right.
How alcohol can really fuel a lot of problems.
Yeah,
and in my family, it is still one. My kids, have really not wanted to partake in any drinking whatsoever, really. I mean, Sarah's, dabbled in it, but they're very afraid of the, alcoholic thing that happens. And how helpless you feel really like with this kind of dynamic, because you can't, and Al-Anon will tell you, it's part of the let them thing, is you cannot rest. They have to want to stop.
100%.
And, I mean, look how many rehabs there are. Look how many, I mean, addiction is everywhere, whether
Yes.
it's,
There's and it comes in many forms, whether it's food or exercise. There's good addictions and there's bad addictions,
totally. And
but it is
extremes.
in extremes on either side. It's hard. I mean, it's hard. You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink. But the person has to be ready,
Right.
and they have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And
It's so painful
and
for the
it's just a
people
pain,
watching.
and it's painful to have a friend watching a friend go through it.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard because I feel help. I mean, I'm watching you feel helpless,
Yeah.
right?
You've seen it. I mean, the cycles and and you think of everything and you try to rescue. And, coupled with it being my elderly parent, like it's hard because time is really slipping away. And the time I want left, I really want to spend with her, but she's not able to because this is taking over her entire life. And it's impacting everybody.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy how that happens. And, and the genetic component of what I've learned. I mean, I've been to every family week that I can go to.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been to, I don't know how many.
A lot of
I lost count. But it's, how we as, the people affected by it have to, and they say to really do the tough love thing and just cut them out. That's it. They have to lose things. They have to, but you couple that with an elderly parent, it's really not possible. So it's very hard to navigate. And I feel like it's a stress of mine that, it's, you want them so much to beat the demons and, and be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel so fortunate, like with us, like 75 days, no problem.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, like, had to do this.
Yeah.
Do I have addictions in other ways? Yes.
So do I. No, but we sat at plenty of bars and had mocktails and tea.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. It was awesome.
And, and I love that I'm able,
of course,
to be able to have a night of drinking and then not, right?
Right.
Like, of course, I love that I don't have that addiction component.
Right. Agreed. And it's very difficult, especially when it's someone in your family, your immediate family, that you're watching just deteriorate and just make bad decision after bad decision. And you're like, oh my God, like you've handed her literally every tool. You've put them in her hand, you and your brother, in McCall, I would have. And I just think that she just, I mean, obviously doesn't want to do it.
No. And it's coming to that radical acceptance again. Here we go again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can't force somebody to change. Like they have to want better. They have to want health. Like, I mean, it's watching somebody, overeat and not do anything about it and not exercise and be unhealthy, and you worry about that person because they're your loved one and you don't want them to die and you don't want them to have heart disease, and and it's like, okay, all we can do is reward the good.
Absolutely.
Get the successes,
and learn from our mistakes and learn what we don't want. And back to the, atomic habits of it might take a while to get where you're going, but to give it effort every day, make progress, and I think that it, especially with an addiction, I was going to say, especially alcohol, but I think just, sugar or whatever, I think that I could see how it could be very easy, like smoking, right? I could quit everything, but smoking's so hard for me. Right. So it's like, why? I don't know. I don't know. I struggle with that.
Everybody's got something.
Everybody has something.
But I think it becomes like how bad it's really affecting your entire life, right? Like, your
Yeah.
entire life,
not just
and-
you, everyone around you.
Right. And that's when it becomes like, and I feel like there's so many people out there, that maybe have, family members and, I guess I just wanted to like open the conversation that just how successful it has been for me. I mean,
Such a kind way to put it.
it's just nothing has worked, and yet my brother worked beautifully
Right.
and he's living a very, happy, healthy. He loves being sober. Your friend Natalie loves being sober. You probably have other family members that have struggled with it.
Yes.
And it's like you choose to live and pick yourself up and do something different, or you die doing this. And it's
I mean, you want to, be the best, hopefully be the best version of yourself. And a lot of times alcohol or whatever it is gets in that way. I think it's great when people recognize and are able to move on. And it is just, I don't know, because I don't know the statistics at all, but I mean, Jason was like a lot younger.
Yes.
Like,
20s.
He was in his 20s.
Yeah.
And not that your mom wasn't in rehab, like in her 60s, I'm not sure, but like,
yeah,
but she's had, more time. She's had a little bit more build up, not that that's any excuse, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what makes someone more curable, if that's even a thing, or more resistant to wanting to be sober, or if it's a mindset thing, like some people are just stronger and can get through it. I mean, I don't know.
I don't either. And I just wish like there was a manual. I mean, I do know some statistics just from learning about the AA program. You really try not to get your kids to drink before of age and their brain is developed, because if you have this genetic, it's highly likely. Just makes it, it just makes it more likely. And I think that was the only difference between Jason and I. I didn't drink in high school, and I just didn't. But, I certainly did in college, and I didn't get it. I can quit cold turkey. I don't have to drink, but, throwing the dice with our kids, scary.
Yeah, it is.
It is scary.
It is scary. I think your kids have seen enough.
Yes. My kids.
And my kids,
Elias
definitely
really doesn't like it either.
No, but I was going to say that my kids have definitely had more to drink, especially Melissa.
Well, she's out of college.
Yeah.
I mean, she's.
But she had the sorority. She
Yeah,
lived
yeah.
more like that
College
traditional
life.
college life, whatever. But neither of my kids are big drinkers.
They're not.
I mean, neither of them are.
So Elias is all athletic, like, very healthy. Like,
Yes.
Missy does her thing too. Like, she doesn't really like it anymore either.
She doesn't.
She kind of had it. Did it.
Yeah.
No. And I'm sure they have nights of fun like you and I do, but it's not
every night. She's
No.
not like going out after work.
No.
Every night, even
No.
though she works in the
No.
restaurant business.
And I wonder, like, how scary it must be for some parents, though, that have to face this with their 20-year-old kids, and they're empty nested, they're on their own, they can make these choices, they can do these things, and then we get stuck in this terrible hole.
Yeah, that's
I mean, we're
hard.
very
You're always,
fortunate
we
that-
are. Once again, I just think that you are there to guide them. And you
Yeah.
help them make hopefully the right decisions.
Yeah.
And you're there when they fall, and you hope that they learn, and you hope it happens in their early 20s, if that's the road they're going to go down for
Yeah.
a little while.
and
you
get
know?
I mean, I also thought, like, more success comes to like the aftercare, like sober living.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing my mom wouldn't do. And I think that would have really helped. I tried really hard, but
I think that would really help too.
because I think then she'd have actual support all the time.
Yeah, and you're surrounding yourself with like people.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put yourself back in the same environment, or you have easy access to your vice,
You're alone,
and
you're
and you're
isolated,
alone,
and,
and you really don't want to give it up.
That's hard.
Then it's just like your hand. It's just like
It's too tempting.
it's too tempting.
For
No,
you.
I love it.
See, in Utah, you actually have to go.
You
to
have
the
to like
liquor
get out of
store
your car. You have to get in your car
and show your ID.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
don't think you could show up to the liquor store drunk.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, not
I
here.
don't know, but I'm guessing no.
I would guess no. I know California's a different,
Yeah.
a different beast. But yes,
Yeah.
so it's something that I think that we figuring out. I mean, it's just that's just been day to day. I mean, there's no way to predict what's
years.
going to happen. No, it's been many years, and there's no way to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. We know that none of it's going to be a surprise.
Right.
That we know.
That we know.
And none of it's going to be a shock.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
here we are.
here we are.
Yep.
And, I think that you're getting better at taking it situation by situation.
All the therapy, man.
God bless therapy.
God bless therapy. I really recommend it. It's very helpful. All the therapy and just, managing one day, I mean, literally one day at a time. I was talking to one of her nurses yesterday, and we thought we got somewhere with her, and then she woke up this morning and she's fine, and we're back drinking day night, and it's like, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people that live with this secretly, and lots of celebrities we've lost very young with not only just alcohol but drugs, and anything that they don't want to die, they mix something accidental, and and it's terrible.
I think that just in general, just so many unnecessary deaths. I mean, I think it's sad. It's just sad. I just think it's so sad.
And I know they're trying to medicate their anxiety and their inner, I've been learning about shadows, and you want to hide that, and it temporarily makes you feel so much better. So I get it. Don't get anxiety anymore, but then you wake up and you have more anxiety, and it's like, it's like this vicious cycle. So
absolutely.
Anyway,
I mean, I just, yes, I think, I look at drugs as like a harder addiction because it's
and some are
in alcohol.
Right.
I look at that as, even though I know sugar and just food in general, soda, I have a whole list of things that are bad for you, but, are different.
Yes.
I mean, alcohol.
It's just so accessible. It's so prevalent. I mean, I really believe this sober movement that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been talking to me about this. I believe it's really happening.
You just make so many bad decisions.
Yes.
I mean, you don't make maybe you eat 3 cupcakes versus 1 if you're like on a sugar addict, or you're eating a lot of pizza. And yes, maybe that 800-pound show isn't good, like shit like that. I mean, there's people out there. It's bad. I'm not saying putting it on the back burner, but drinking and driving, I think, is a lot worse,
Oh, for sure.
I think that, I don't know, I guess all habits are
hard.
or addictions are hard to break.
It's a very tough topic, and it's, one we probably can talk a lot about, and just how we have to sort of let go of rescuing,
Yeah, because it's only going to drive you crazy.
It was.
It's gonna drive you crazy, and that's not fair to you, and that's not fair to your kids.
No.
And it's if that's the way that someone wants to live, it's sad. And I mean, let's be clear. It's not like you've said, okay, I've tried this and it didn't work, and now we're done.
Yeah.
It's been years upon years, and not only one person, but other people helping you, your brother and Nicole. And
we've had professionals.
I mean, you've had a whole team. And it's just, once in a while you got to kind of look in the mirror and be like, God, I'm important too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm important too. And I want to talk about something different. I want to focus on something else.
Yeah.
Not only in your own brain, but when you pick the phone up and you call whoever, your kids, versus grandma's off the fucking rails again, It's insane.
It really is. And then throw in, the dementia that's coming with it,
Right.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nate and I just watched 50
real.
First Dates again. Okay. I feel like I'm living 50 First Dates. Every morning we've forgotten what we did yesterday.
It's Groundhog's Day. I know.
Every day we got to start all over.
No, we're not doing that.
So yeah, it's been, trying to just,
Yeah. It's a hard thing to navigate.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
yeah,
and I'm sure there's right and wrong answers. I have no idea, but it's really difficult to figure out.
it's so hard.
And it's like
like,
it's you know what? I think that if we had hard kids, it would be easier because
Yes.
you're used to like putting, if we had drinkers and smokers and partiers and
Yeah.
sneaker outers and like
All
we
of that.
had all that and we were like
I'd be
stressed
concerned.
and up
Yeah.
and we had to put those rules and laws and hammers down. It would have been different.
Right.
But now, like, we're having to do it with our parents.
Yeah. I know, isn't it crazy?
I mean, we didn't even have to do it with the kids.
I'm empty nesting, dealing with like this. I mean,
So
this is-
it's-
yeah.
It's new. It's not like
Yeah.
you really have ever dealt with something like
No.
that.
I haven't. And my brother curbed it so young, like,
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and he
He wanted to be better.
always, and every day, that's what he says to me.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that. It was so dark. And and the worst part is he can really relate to how she feels.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he knows that it can be done.
Oh, yeah.
So that's even more frustrating.
She knows it can be done too.
Right.
We've seen her do it. We've seen her do it for months.
I mean, she goes and doesn't drink, so she can do it.
But we've seen her outside.
Yeah.
At one point, there was a stint. I forgot when.
A few months or something.
But there
Yeah.
was like a stint where she was in rehab for, call it 3 months to be fair.
Yep.
And then came out
and was good for a little while.
Yeah.
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 But if you don't address
The issue.
of why you're drinking and why you're medicating and why it'll never get resolved.
So what is
Yeah.
that? What do you think?
I mean, after all my therapy, I think it's really looking at the shadows, looking at the dark sides of your life and looking at the hard parts of your personality and looking at the things that really hurt you and the people that hurt you
Yeah.
and, letting go.
Yeah.
Letting go and really healing and wanting to do better and wanting to get better. And like my therapist said today, like you wanted to get better. You wanted to heal. You wanted,
Yes.
and you can't, just like we can't give our athletic kids, the motivation to do their sports, that has to come within. Like it's really the same thing,
100%. That
that internal drive of wanting to stay sober and wanting
to live life.
Yeah. And we just did 75 days of it because we wanted to.
Yeah.
We wanted to feel better. We wanted to
Reset.
Yeah. And it worked.
It worked. It was great. I just, it's hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there.
I bet we are going to get comments. I mean, I know I'm not alone, and I know that you're not alone. And,
yes.
and
no one
friends
out there
of
is
friends,
alone.
and nobody out there's alone. And please, share your comments. I'd love, if there's anything anybody has to offer as far as advice, I would love it. Just any resource, any tool, any book, I'm willing to,
And your mom's in her mid 70s.
Yeah, my mom's in her mid 70s.
So if anyone, maybe there's someone out there that has a mom in her,
through
70s,
something
80s,
like
that there's
this.
going, who knows?
So,
who knows?
Yeah,
But-
so that would be great. And just,
So it's-
or if you've struggled with addiction and how you have overcame it, like anything would be helpful.
Or the child of, and how
yeah,
you
and how
processed
you're
it.
Exactly.
That would be great.
That would be great.
So any and all.
So anyway, that's why we wanted to do a little heavier topic. It's not as light as our normal stuff.
No, but we'll be back.
It's been
with
weighing
something.
on me,
Yeah.
but next week we'll do something funny.
Okay.
I'm going on some dates, so
Yes. Stay tuned.
the dating scene at 50.
That's good. I can't wait.
See you guys, everybody.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Please like, subscribe, and share.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this week's episode of JK, It's Not About You.
You can write in and ask your questions on our show's Instagram page at JK It's Not About You, and we will address your questions on the next week's episode.
If this episode helped you, we would love for you to share it with your friends and family.
Share the fun with all those that can benefit from a good laugh or cry with us.
Please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we would greatly appreciate you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.